And now, Mike's thoughts.
It has been 7 years since Alex Smith was traded to the Washington Redskins. It's been 7 years since Patrick Mahomes has taken over the full-time starting position in Kansas City. It's been 7 years since a third-round pick and Kendall Fuller came to Kansas City for my man, Alex Smith. Since then, Patrick Mahomes has started every single AFC championship game. That's 7 in a row. Guys, the Chiefs have been playing chess this whole time. The Chiefs have been playing chess for a very, very long time. They have built their team via draft, coaching staff, and front office. It is time to stop hating on the Kansas City Chiefs. It is time to see their greatness. It is time to see how great that front office and ownership actually is. It is time to see how great the coaching staff is. For the last 10 plus years, Andy Reid, Brett Veach, and the ownership group of the Kansas City Chiefs have been amazing. In the last 7 years, Patrick Mahomes has been arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. For the last 7 years, the Kansas City Chiefs have arguably been the best team in the NFL. For the last 7 years, the Kansas City Chiefs have arguably been the best franchise in the NFL. So stop hating on those boys, stop hating on greatness, and just do better. Because right now, your team sucks. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation! Rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Welcome to Toxic Tuesday here at Man Hour NFL Talk. Guys, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And every Tuesday, we have the Toxic Roundtable together. So hour number 2, we got my man Mark D on. Harvey is out sick yet again. But we got Toxic Tuesday. We got to talk about the toxic people out there in the old NFL landscape. But guys, we do got a great story for you lined up today. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about that Super Bowl. If you guys don't know who's playing the Super Bowl, you have been living under a rock. We have the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs. So the first question of the day is we got to ask, do you want to see the Eagles win or the Kansas City lose? What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see? I know what I want to see, but what do you guys want to see? We're going to talk a little bit more about Jalen Hurts and the Kansas City Chiefs being the villains of the NFL. Are we really overlooking them? Are we really calling them the haters? What? Slow it down. And then segment number 2, we're going to talk about Jameis Winston. The man, the myth, the legend was out there interviewing people, and he is a free agent. Where is he going to end up playing in 2025? Or is he going to end up in a booth? Are the Dallas Cowboys already tanking in 2025? We'll talk about that. And we got to talk about Harvey's New England Patriots. Are they built to make a push? A playoff push for 2025? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Toxic Tuesday. We're going to talk about the worst franchise in the NFL. The worst franchise in the NFL. That's right. That is the Minnesota Vikings and the Las Vegas Raiders and the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns. Who has the best chance to turn it around? And then, why is the media trolling the fans? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Myles Garrett, how can the Browns get right? And then, of course, we got to take who do you think deserves a playoff a little bit more? And then we got to end the show with a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. You guys know how this is a live interactive show. So live, interactive, comment, like, share the stream as well. Before we get too carried away, we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got to welcome Mrs. Pigskin Pundit herself. We got to welcome Laura Johnson Hedrick in the chat. What's up, Laura? She says, good evening to you as well, Laura. What is up? What is up? What is up? We got my man, John Pable's in the chat today as well. He says, what up? What's up, John? What's up? What's up? What's up? You guys, John and Laura, both are Pigskin Pundits, guys, so be sure to be like John and Laura. Click on the subscribe button down below and become a Pigskin Pundit. And Laura says, let me be very, very clear about this. Let me be very, very clear, and so the people in the back can hear me. She says, go Kansas City, 3-peat, baby, let's go. Laura, I'm with you. I'm with you, baby, let's go. John says both. Both. John says she'd rather see the Eagles win and the Kansas City Chiefs lose. That's what John wants to see. But guys, if you're over here on YouTube, there's a poll question up. Who do you want to win? Is it the Eagles or the Chiefs? I did not have time to put it up over here on the Facebook page, but we'll do that tomorrow. Speaking of Pigskin Pundit, Casey's Morgan's a Pigskin Pundit as like as well, and he says, which would be the one team you cheer for to win? Go Chiefs. Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Chiefs Kingdom. Alpha Rob says, what up, Buck? What up? What's up, Alpha Rob? Good day, man. Good day, good day. He says, how many wings are you going to eat on Sunday? Alpha Rob, the correct answer is 0. 0 is the correct answer because here in the Buck household, we eat queso, my man. Every Kansas City Chiefs game, we eat queso. We do not fuck with tradition. You guys know that you do not F with tradition, right? Let's go, let's go, let's go. We also got John Setter in the chat as well. What's up, John? He says, fly, Eagles, fly. John, go to your room. You're in timeout. You're in timeout, John. Do not say that around here. No, I'm kidding. What's up, man? What's up? You can root for the Eagles if you like to root for losing teams. John says, Pigskin Pundits, get you some. John, we're going to have to get you recording that, right? And then John says, what up, Buck? What's up, John? Hope you're having a good day, man. But guys, we do got a great show for you live today. We are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Live interactive show. We see all the comments, answer them as much as we can. But guys, most importantly, guys, like the live stream and share this with a couple friends as well. Oh, we got one more person popping in. We got Seth popping in. What says, what up, Buck? What's up, Seth? What's up? What's up? What's up, man? So guys, let's get into today's topic. Let's get into today's topic number 1. As you guys know, the Philadelphia Eagles are playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. If you have been living under a rock, you know this by now, right? But people have been, to say the least, this is going to be the worst Super Bowl ever. This is going to be the least watched Super Bowl ever. This is going to hurt the NFL by having these two teams in the NFL or in the Super Bowl. First off, stop. Stop it with that. This will not be the least watched Super Bowl ever. Let's just be honest. This will not hurt the NFL. Let's just be honest. But I can see where you people are coming from, right? I can see why you guys are saying what you're saying. We do have the two most hated teams in this big game, meaning the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, they're the biggest two hated teams in the NFL. Let's just be flat out honest. But the reason is why is because we wasn't really looking forward to both these teams being good. I don't know. But whatever, guys. But I can see why the fans are upset. But let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys think that people want to see the Philadelphia Eagles win or the Kansas City Chiefs lose? Which one do you want to see in this game more? Do you want to see the Eagles victory or the Kansas City Chiefs lose? What is the biggest rooting aspect of this game? When I think about this, and when I was proposed this question by my man Carson, I was like, damn, that is tough. That is tough because if you guys think about this, the Philadelphia Eagles are probably one of the most hated teams in the NFL. Let's just be flat out honest. When you think of top 5 most hated teams in the NFL, number 1 is going to probably be the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2 is going to probably be the New England Patriots. And then number 3 is probably the Philadelphia Eagles, and then the 49ers, and then probably the Kansas City Chiefs. So 2 of the top 5 most hated teams in the NFL are in this game. Not only that, right? Not only that, the Kansas City Chiefs are going for a 3-peat. They're going for their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years, right? They are on a mission from God. They got their sunglasses on, a half a pack of smokes, a half a tank of gas, and they rolling. 3 Super Bowls in a row. Hell, in the last 3 seasons alone, the Kansas City Chiefs have 40 wins in 3 seasons. 15, 11, and 14. Hell, the last 3 seasons, the Philadelphia Eagles have been to 1 Super Bowl, and they won 39 games in 3 seasons. These have been the two most successful teams over the last 3 to 5 years. Let's just be flat out honest. And guys, the reason why people hate these teams, the reason why they hate the Chiefs, the reason why they hate the Eagles, the reason why they think this is going to be the least watched Super Bowl ever is because people hate winners. As simple as that. They hate winners. The Kansas City Chiefs, 40 wins in the last 3 seasons. Philadelphia Eagles, 39 wins in the last 3 seasons. Kansas City Chiefs going for their 3rd Super Bowl in a row. The Philadelphia Eagles were just in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. So guys, let me ask this question. What do you want to see in this game more? Do you want to see the Kansas City Chiefs lose more or the Philadelphia Eagles win more? Do you want the Eagles to stop history, or do you want the most hated fan base out there in the Philadelphia Eagles to lose? What do you guys want? Me personally, I would rather see the Kansas City Chiefs lose, right? Because I don't hate the Eagles, but I don't like the Eagles either. I just don't want the Eagles to win the damn Super Bowl. So if I have to pick one, I would rather see the Kansas City Chiefs lose, right? Actually, let me renege on that. Let me waffle around. On this Waffle Tuesday, it's not Waffle Wednesday, Waffle Tuesday here, let me waffle around the answer, and I would rather see the Philadelphia Eagles win this game. Because I feel if the Kansas City Chiefs lose this game, there is going to be a lot of controversy around said thing. There is going to be a lot of probably shooting themselves in the foot, like a lot of bit of this and a lot of bit of that, right? So I would rather see the Philadelphia Eagles win, play a perfect, flawless game, beat the Kansas City Chiefs at their best, right? And I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles win this game. So if you guys had to choose one, Kansas City Chiefs loss or Philadelphia Eagles win, what would you rather see in this game? I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles. John says TB12 is going to turn around Vegas into a winner. That's a false statement. Laura says KC jersey is ready to be worn on Sunday. John says Kelce Bowl 2. This is not a Kelce Bowl 2. Jason Kelce retired after that Super Bowl loss. And honestly, John, that's probably why in 2022, this was not one of the most hated Super Bowls out there, right? Was because we had that underlining story of Travis Kelce versus Jason Kelce. Like we had the Mama Kelce aspect of it, doing the coin flip and wearing the split jerseys and all all that stuff, right? There was a lot of storylines around that whole Kelce warm-hearted story stuff now. Now, maybe if Jason Kelce was still on the Eagles roster now, right? Maybe if it actually was a Kelce Bowl 2.0, maybe if it actually was another heartwarming story, this may not be the most hated Super Bowl ever. But I think since Jason Kelce's not in there, this is the most hated Super Bowl ever. I think it is. I think it is what it is. Laura says, no, I've had a Larry Johnson in my closet for years. No, I know. Larry Johnson, let's go, LJ, baby, LJ. And Laura says, I want to see both teams take that L. Well, Laura, we know that cannot happen. We know that both teams cannot take the L. So what would you rather see more? The Eagles win or the Kansas City Chiefs lose? What do you guys want to see more? There's no waffling around today, Laura. We need a nice, direct answer. Me personally, I would rather see the Philadelphia Eagles win as a Chiefs fan, right? Josh says the Eagles have one of the worst fan bases in America. Josh, I think you are correct. Like, Big Jim, right? The CEO of the Pigskin Pundits. He is from Philly. And he says those fans suck. And honestly, every time I get on TikTok or YouTube Reels or Instagram Reels or like YouTube Shorts and stuff like that, and I see people talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, they always try to exclude people that are not from Philly, right? They always try to exclude the people that are not born into this Philly green, right? Like, they hate people that try to jump on their bandwagon mid-season. They hate people that are not born into the system. They hate people that are just not true blood, die-hearted Philadelphia Eagles fans, and it's absolutely ridiculous, right? But they do have one of the worst fan bases as far as like, now they have a loyal fan base and they would protect their own, but if you are an outsider, they hate you, right? They hate you. So is that the worst fan base ever? Probably, but they're definitely one of the most hated teams in the NFL. My man WB Anderson in the chat says, what's up? What's up, Ant? What's up? What's up? What's up, man? John says, let's just hope Mahomes' knees hold out. Mahomes doesn't have knee problems. He has ankle problems. It's the left ankle. Let's just hope his ankle does hold true, right? Get that ankle in check and let's go, baby, right? John says KC is going to three-peat. John says, hey, I'm rooting for the Eagles. I'm hoping the Eagles win, but let's just be honest. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to three-peat and they're going to make history. Okay, John. Okay. But then he turns around and says, go Eagles. My man. And Seth said he would rather see the Kansas City Chiefs lose than the Eagles win. Why? Right? Why would you rather see a chance of history get beat and then let a team like Philadelphia Eagles win? Now, let's see, like, that's the bias in me coming out a little bit. Like, why would you want this team to win when this team compete history when it's my team? Like, that's a little bit of bias. Let's step back a little bit. Let's slow it down, baby, right? Seth, I value your comment. I see your comment, and I understand why you want to see the Kansas City Chiefs lose, right? I definitely see that. And Ant said, my boy got a clean shave, and I want the Eagles to win. Tired of Kansas City. Listen, Ant, this was a mistake, my man. This was a Sunday night board. Why we don't have Sunday night football on NFC Championship week, I don't know. Ridiculous. I was trimming the old beer up. I didn't like the way it looked. Started trimming a little bit more. I was like, man, I look like an Amish fuck. I was like, she got to go. She got to go. But yeah, Ant wants the Eagles to win because he's from that Philadelphia area. He is in that whole corridor, Maryland, Baltimore, Philly, Pittsburgh area right there. So root for your hometown team, right? Alpha Rob said, I'd rather see the Eagles win. Alpha Rob just doesn't want the Chiefs to have any more success. Alpha Rob wants the Kansas City Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl, have that Super Bowl hangover, and be a first-round exit next year, so his Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen can finally get over that hump and finally start losing 4 straight Super Bowls yet again. That's why Alpha Rob wants the Eagles to win. Laura says, Kansas City has to win. I hate the Eagles. Okay. Listen, Laura, I respect your opinion. I validate your opinion. I'm trying to use the whole validate and support you, but go Chiefs, baby! Let's go. Seth said, let me be very, very clear here. I am a Denver Broncos fan, and I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, Seth, this is why the AFC West is such a great division, right? This is why the AFC West is by far the best division and the most rivalries in the NFL. Yes, I see the Browns versus Steelers, or like the Ravens versus Steelers. I see that. But from top to bottom, everybody in the AFC West hates everybody equally, right? I hate the Raiders. I hate the Broncos. I hate the Chargers. And just like you, Seth, you hate the Chiefs. You hate the Raiders. You hate the Chargers. So, Seth, twice a year, we can hate each other. But for the rest of the year next year, we are going to hate on the Chargers and Raiders each and every week. Let's go. West Philly Black is in the chat. It says the Eagles have a way better roster and they will win the game. West Philly Black, you are absolutely correct. If you go from top to bottom, from receivers to linemen to quarterback play, if you go on paper, yes, the Philadelphia Eagles have the better roster. They have the better receiver core. They have the better running backs. They have the better offensive line. They have the better defensive front, linebackers, secondary. Secondary might be a little questionable, might be a toss-up. But the Kansas City Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback, the best situational quarterback in the playoffs and Super Bowl era, I should say. Patrick Mahomes elevates everybody on the Kansas City Chiefs roster, and that cannot be explained on paper, right? Just like when the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice. Yes, the Patriots were by far the superior team. They were by far on paper should blow them out of the water. But game is played on and between the white lines for a reason, right? And that is why we love the NFL game. It's not scripted. It's not rigged. Stop. But yes, West Philly Black, I do agree. On paper, the Philadelphia Eagles have the better roster from top to bottom. You are 100% correct. WBS says the Kansas City Chiefs fans are no better. No offense to Buck. The Kansas City Chiefs fans do have those couple bad apples, right? It's just like every fan base, right? They do have those bad apples, and there's some of them that love their teams to death for whatever reason, right? And honestly, that team could care two shits less if you buy their jersey, whether you support the team or whatever, right? But those teams will kill for that team for whatever reason, and those few handful of fans always give said fan bases bad raps, right? The Eagles fans shooting the gun in the air, right? The Casey Wolf robbing the banks, going to like all those games, right? Those few bad apples do give the rest of the fan base a bad rap. But, and I can tell you this, if you ever come to Arrowhead Stadium and you are going to the game and you are wearing an opposing team jersey, 90% of the fans, actually I'd probably say 95% of the fans will welcome you over to their tailgate. They will open up a beer for you. They will offer you some food, and they will have you a really, really good time. Going to a Philly game, I can say that is not the case. Now, there were some of them that were friendly, like, hey, nice to be here, well, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But I'd say probably majority of them, probably 50% or 60% of them kind of stuck up their nose at you, said, fuck you. They were very, very hatred toward the people. But yes, I do agree. Every fan base has those certain amount of people that are just asinine and ass 10, right? They're stupid. John says, I'm hearing Buffalo fans are unrefined as well. I have not been to a Buffalo Bills fan or to a Orchard Park, but judging by the videos that we see, I feel like they would be very, very welcoming too, right? But I don't know. We plan on going to Orchard Park next season. JM says the AFC West is trash except for Kansas City. JM, as you are correct, the Broncos are trash. The Chargers are trash. The Raiders are trash. However, when the AFC West plays the AFC West, throw those records out the window. One team can be 16-0 and the other team can be 0-16. Throw the records out the door, out the window. You are going to get the best matchup you can. James says they're just like the NFC South. Not even close. Not even close. Derek says, go halftime show. Give me some Kendrick. Seth says, let's go, Bucks. Screw the Raiders and Chargers. Exactly. LV4, whatever. Suck it. Suck it. And John says, just the way we want. There we go. RN4L. Raiders Nation for life, I guess. That's just stupid. Stupid. JM says, I feel like Raiders fans are actually the most likely to be violent or to do something nasty. To be honest, when I went to a Raiders game in Oakland, I might add, this was not LA or Vegas. This was when they were in Oakland. Yes, they were not very welcoming because I was wearing a Chiefs jersey at the time. I was wearing a Don Terry Pope shirt, actually, or a Poe. And they were not very welcoming to us Kansas City Chiefs fan. So, but that was the rivalry, whatever, right? The black hole really intimidate people. But it was still fun though, right? It was still fun. Honestly, JM, the worst stadium experience I've ever had was actually at Ford Field when the Chiefs played the Detroit Lions back in, had it been 2018, I believe it may have been 2019, 2018, 2020, 2019. I'm not for sure. It was when Hawkinson jumped over Eric Berry and broke his neck, right? The Kansas City Chiefs were undefeated at the time, and the Lions played them very, 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 very well. I was up in the second deck, and the fan base just up there were just like talking mad shit to me and my wife and like my 1-year-old son. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I have a kid here. Like, if it was just me and my wife, awesome. But they were like, it was terrible. It was terrible. Josh says, I don't agree with anybody that says a certain team has a better roster. The Chiefs have really, really good defense, really good receivers, and a really good quarterback. Josh, as I agree with you, the Kansas City Chiefs do have a really good linebacking core, but the Eagles linebacking core is just a little bit better. The Philadelphia Eagles do have a great offensive line. The Kansas City Chiefs have a good offensive line. The Eagles are just a little bit better. Receiving core. The Chiefs do have a great receiving core with a lot of good names on it. I want to put emphasis on the word names there, right? Juju is a good name. DHop is a good name, but they really haven't really been performing most of the season. Eagles do have a better receiving core. It is what it is. On paper, the Eagles are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. Derek says you got to walk out. I'm never going to walk out of an NFL game. That's just silly. JM said, I'd be mad if I lived in Detroit too. I can't really blame them for being jerks. Yeah, and it's funny because I want to say that was Dan Campbell's. No, it was still the Matt Patricia era when I was up there, and they just weren't very good. But that stadium was still packed. It was still rocking, and those fans were still talking mad shit. So it was very, 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 very like mind-boggling to me that you would be so disrespectful to a wife and kids. But whatever, it is what it is. Now the best experience that I've ever been as a visiting team was Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field was very, very welcoming. They very, very nice people up there. Ant says that's the fan in Pittsburgh did. They welcome Ravens fans to drink beers and tailgate with them. One guy even came up and shook my hand after the game. He told me how much he loved and respected our rivalry. I said the feeling is mutual. I dislike fans who verbally and physically disrespect the opponent's team's fans. It's okay to talk shit about the players, but not to the fans. And like even then, just like so. This is the one thing, Ant, that I don't ever understand about people in general, right? We are paying a lot of money to go to these NFL games, right? It costs $40 to park. The ticket's $120. If you want a beer, that's $18, right? If you want a hot dog, there's another $8, right? Like you are going to spend $400 or $500 just to go to a game and enjoy it, right? Now, I understand you are passionate about your team. I understand that you want to see your team win and be loud and be rowdy and rambunctious and like all this stuff. But why do you have to affect my experience like at the game? I'm there for the same reason you are, to root for a team, to have a good time, to experience the atmosphere. Why are 5 or 10 people going to try to single out one person that happens to wear an opposing jersey, right? Just to make them feel bad, right? It's just silly to me, right? It's just silly to me. JM says Pittsburgh fans are actually really nice as well, and I feel that most of the fan bases in NFL, JM and the rest of the people that are in here. Thank you guys for all your comments as a live interactive show. I feel like most of the fan bases are very, very polite, and they're all just like a majority of us, right? We're just out here enjoying the game, having a good time, and we just want to go see different stadiums and just see a game, right? Like we have the 30 stadium poster here, and we got like 10 left to go. And honestly, we've only had two bad experiences. One was at Ford Field, which was it was not Ford Field in general. It was like a group of 3 really, really drunk guys, right? And then at Philly, where that was just probably a handful of really, really drunk guys that just gave us that little, I don't know, like we're better than I don't know how to explain it, because like for one, I was wearing my Chiefs jersey there, and it was the Eagles versus the who were they playing at the time? Was it the Commanders? Yeah, it was the Eagles and the Commanders game, and I was wearing my Chiefs jersey because I wasn't really supporting one way or the other, but they're talking shit to me. I'm like what? Like what? It's just crazy. Laura says, I can't wait to experience the Vikings home experience. Skull chant. Listen, Laura, watching it just on TV in that all white, gave me chills, right? And I hope you have a great time up there. Bradley Welchers in the chat says, imagine if the Chiefs three-peat, then a month later they trade Mike Dana, P. Ryan, and 2 first rounders for Myles Garrett. That would be tough, Bradley. That would be tough, Bradley. Because if you think about this logically, Bradley, the Kansas City Chiefs have 2 or 3 of their front 4 guys up for free agency, like as well. So putting Myles Garrett with Chris Jones, with Chanel, with other guys drawing a blank right now. He's a 3rd-year player from Notre Dame, I do believe. Along with the linebacking core with Tranquil and and Bolton, man, that defense would be dangerous. That would be dangerous, right? That would be dangerous. Derek says, "Are you going to try to do some squares for the Super Bowl?" I don't know how the squares work, Derek. I don't know how the squares work, so probably not. Probably not. But speaking of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs have been deemed this villain of the NFL, right? On opening night, media night, last night, Patrick Mahomes was asked several times about what it's like to be the villain of the NFL. I was watching these interviews live, and I was very, very confused by the questions anyways, and Patrick Mahomes looked very confused by the question as well, but he answered it the best way he could. And Patrick Mahomes said, and I quote, if winning football games makes you a villain, we're going to keep going out there and doing just that. So guys, what has made the Kansas City Chiefs the villain in this, in the NFL? What have they done to earn this, quote, villain role? Now, everywhere you look at it, I have been trolling you people over here on the Facebook page for the last 2 weeks, right? Earlier today, I said, hey, it's February 4th, and I still haven't figured out how the Kansas City Chiefs have cheated, right? And I didn't go through all those comments, but there are many of them be like, oh, it's the refs. I want to ask you guys this legit question. Guys, comment below, because I really don't have an answer. How did the Kansas City Chiefs become this villain of the NFL? I don't understand what makes you a villain, right? Now, is the success factor making you a villain, right? Because Patrick Mahomes has gone to 7 straight AFC championship games. He has only lost 2 of those AFC championship games. He's been to Super Bowl now in 5 years, or 5 times in 7 years. Does that make you a villain? Being successful? Is winning football games give you the plateau, the bullseye on you to become a villain? It is not like the Chiefs are out there spying on opponents, cutting out microphones, deflating balls, using the stickums. What have the Kansas City Chiefs done to become the villains? That is what I want to know. That is what I want to ask you guys in the comments below. Let me know. What do you guys think the Kansas City Chiefs have done to become villains? Alpha Rob says they should have asked Mahomes, did Allen really get the first down? Alpha Rob, you know that answer. He did not get the first down. Actually, Alpha Rob, it was the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, I think it was. I can't remember who it was. It could have been a safety, but I was quickly scrolling Facebook or Twitter, and I saw this, and like he says, this might be an unpopular opinion, but am I the only one that thinks that Josh Allen did not get the first down? And there were many likes and many hearts on that particular thing. So, I mean, obviously that's 2 weeks ago, Alpha Rob. The time has come and gone. And of course, they did change the rules for the Buffalo Bills after losing yet again. So maybe next year you guys can win. John says the referees and the sound of 14-year-old girls screaming at Taylor Swift. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs have become the villains. So, John, you think that the 10.5 million people that will be tuning in to the Super Bowl are going to be hearing the 15-year-old girl screaming on the television? You are absolutely false on that. The referees, what did the refs do to the Kansas City Chiefs to make them the villains? Now, I'm glad you brought that up, because did you guys know that the Kansas City Chiefs are the 15th poorest team in the NFL? So they are right dab in the middle as far as profits and gains and all that other stuff, right? There are 15 other teams in the NFL, 14 other teams in the NFL that make more money than them. I have heard people say, oh, Patrick Mahomes is paying off the refs, bribing the refs, doing this, this, and this, right? There are other quarterbacks out there that make more money than Patrick Mahomes. There's other teams out there that make more money than Patrick Mahomes. Why are they not paying off the refs? Why are they not bribing the refs? Why are they not in the back hips and sliding them $1,000 here, $1 million here? Why are other teams and other quarterbacks not doing that if that is the case? Because we all know you're talking two ways out of your mouth if you believe that. If you believe that the referees are being paid off by the Kansas City Chiefs and the Patrick Mahomes, right? Stop it. Stop it. And John says it helped them get to this position. It did not help them get to the position because if the Chiefs were doing it, John, if the Chiefs were doing it, why is not the richest team in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, doing it? Why is the second richest team in the NFL, the LA Rams? Why are they not doing it? John, did you know that your Raiders are the 12th worthy or the 12th highest value team in the NFL? That means they got more money than the Kansas City Chiefs. Why are they not paying off the refs in their back pocket, getting into that position? Come on, let's think logically. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Derek says, I think the teams try to beat their system and then they run down, then they run their own strengths. That D doesn't help grind all games. League of Ballers says, when you win as much as the Kansas City Chiefs have, people want to see you lose, and they will do anything. League of Ballers, you are absolutely correct. If you think about this, the last 3 years in the regular season, the Kansas City Chiefs have 40 wins. On the other hand, the Philadelphia Eagles have 39 wins in the last 3 seasons as well. These are the two most hated teams in the NFL. Success, right? Success. And John says it's the Hunt family paying for it. The Hunt family is not as rich as Jerry Jones. The Hunt family is not as rich as Mark Davis and the Rams owner. Like, stop it. Stop it. Signman X says, anytime you are successful, they're going to hate and accuse you of cheating. They said Brady cheated too. I think all probably look for an edge, but I don't. So Signman X, you are absolutely right. When you are successful, people look to try to bring you down instead of building you up, right? That is the problem with our society, especially in this world that I live in the sports media podcasting type community. People always try to build you down instead of, hey, let's climb this ladder together. Let's take 4 of us and climb to the top. No, they're all going to try to bring down the one that's up there, and I'm trying to help you up. And you're just trying to bring me down. Just stop it. However, on the other back end of your statement, they said Brady cheated too. Signman X, Brady did not directly cheat, right? But there were many, many gates associated with the Patriots' 10-year run, right? The deflating of the balls, which I don't know why you would deflate the balls. It's harder to throw, I think, with the deflated ball, but I digress. The spy gate, the headphone gate, and the other gate, right? So there is a lot of controversy surrounding the Patriots' tenure, but we forget about that because years has passed, right? But and Signman X says they're paying the refs. If the Chiefs are paying the refs, why aren't the Raiders? Why aren't the Ravens? Why aren't the Buffalo Bills? Why aren't the Cowboys? Why aren't the Lions? Stop it. Stop it. Josh says they are no villain. It's because some people don't appreciate and witnessing greatness. Listen, Josh, I used to be one of those people, right? Back when I was in college, right? I would hate the people that were having more success than me, right? I would hate on them. But I quickly learned that, hey, if I watch this person, if I admire this person, if I do exactly what they're doing, I'm going to elevate my game. So maybe that's what the Eagles need to do. Maybe that's what the Bills need to do, and the Ravens and the rest of the fan base. Like, hey, what are the Kansas City Chiefs doing so great? How can we elevate ourselves? Right? Never ever says, when you have so much controversy surrounding your wins, it's pretty obvious. What is the controversy surrounding the wins of the Kansas City Chiefs? Never ever. Is it the referee's calls? Is it the call of the referee? Is that the controversy surrounding the wins, right? The only reason why it is so much controversy is because Kansas City Chiefs are on so much TV and so many people are actually watching the Kansas City Chiefs game. In my comments over here at facebook.com/manhour NFL talk, my man Jameson, I like him. I like his interaction on the page, but he is the biggest Kansas City Chiefs hater. He says, they never had a holding call in the Super Bowl ever. Well, let me ask you this, people out there in fairy tale land and paying the referee land, how many holding calls have been called on the offensive line in the Super Bowl in general? I can think of 2 in the last 4 years. So the to say that the Kansas City Chiefs have never had one called on them, Eagles never had one called them back in 2022. The 49ers had one called on them. Like, stop it. That is dumb. Next, right? All this controversy, right? Juwan Taylor consistently lining up off the ball, jumping or false starting, and like all this other stuff. The only reason why you guys are watching it is because somebody said it 2 years ago. Now, I want you to watch every offensive lineman in the league. Every left tackle, every right tackle. Every one of them now are cheating back just a little bit. Every one of them are jumping the snap just a little bit. But you don't see that because it's not on the Kansas City Chiefs, because nobody's pointing it out. But now that I pointed it out to you, I want you to watch the right tackle of the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. I guarantee you at least 50% of the time he will be too far back and he will jump the snap just a split second, right? Just a split second. I guarantee you he is going to do that, but nobody's going to say nothing. It's all going to be Juwan Taylor. Guarantee you. Is it Taylor Swift's fault that CBS keeps showing her on film time and time again? Is it Taylor Swift's fault that that the CBS does this and this? It's not Taylor Swift's fault. If anything, you should be mad at Tony Romo. If anything, you should be mad at Jim Nantz. If anything, you should be mad about CBS, right? If the Kansas City Chiefs weren't always on CBS Game of the Week at 4:25, you wouldn't be seeing Taylor Swift. You wouldn't be seeing Tony Romo gobbling Patrick Mahomes nuts. Blame CBS. John says it's to grip the ball better. That's why they deflated the balls. John, you can grip the ball better, but when you grip the ball too hard, it's harder to throw. Throw a inflated ball and then throw a deflated ball, then get at me. Demetrius says, Blunt won deflate game even if Brady didn't pass the pass. He won the game the first drive. Yes, LeGarrette Blount versus it was the Colts game. I can't remember what it was, whatever. But yeah, the Colts or the Patriots dominated the Colts that game. I believe it was the Colts game. Simon X says they all do it. I feel like they're looking for an edge, but when you're successful, they're going to look at you under the microscope. Exactly. About the Juwan Taylor thing, you are exactly right. League of Baller says, why wouldn't the Chiefs have to pay the refs when they have the best team in the league, led by the boogeyman, Patrick Mahomes? Now wrong. Never Ever says, haven't there been huge calls and huge games every year? Yes, there's always that game-changing call, but never ever. Let me ask you this question. and I can ask it to Mark here on hour number 2 when the toxic table gets together. But let me ask you this, guys. In the first quarter, if there is roughing the passer penalty, how many yards is that penalty? The correct answer is 15 yards and automatic first down. Let me ask you this. In the fourth quarter, how many yards is roughing the penalty passer? It's 15 yards and a first down. So what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter when the penalty is called. It's still 15 yards. It's still 10 yards. It's still the same amount of yardage and it doesn't matter. A flag in the first quarter is just as effective on the game as a flag in the fourth quarter. So all you people saying it is when the flag's thrown, stop it. That's just silly. That's just silly. Never ever said I'm watching because I'm a fan, not because of someone said something. I have my own eyes. And that is 100. So listen, now, never ever, I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of people out there that do follow the cheat pack, right? Like if somebody says, oh, the refs are cheating for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to start piling on, right? Harrison Buckner thing. People said one thing about Harrison Buckner, totally false. People started piling on, right? But what you don't realize, never ever, is I can say, hey, I saw 5 red Toyota Camrys on the way to work. And then all of a sudden, on the way home, you are going to see 10 red Toyota Camrys on the way home from work. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize there's so many Camrys there. Because subconsciously, you're going to be looking for that said situation. So now when somebody said something about Jawan Taylor, about leaving a little bit early, lining up a little bit too far back, right? Subconsciously, you are watching that. Whether you want to admit it or not, we all do it. It's just the facts of life. Real McCoy says, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. All teams are up to something. Real McCoy, you're exactly right. I teach my players to play in that gray area. Keep pushing the limits until the referee calls it. You got to back off, right? So yeah, I was on mute. Sorry guys, my bad. Ant says nobody is worse than the Kansas than Chris Collinsworth, aka Mahomes Glazer. Every Sunday night, now here's a guy followed up by mentioning Mahomes and playing for the Chiefs aren't even playing. Not wrong. Not wrong at all. But guys, let's get into some Dallas Cowboys talk. Let's get into the 2025 NFL season and the Dallas Cowboys talk. Now, I was listening to ESPN. I don't know why, but on Fridays, for some reason, I'm graduated to ESPN. I think it's First Take, and Cam Newton kind of says his thing. I watch his clips on TikTok. I do believe. But Cam Newton said he thinks that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys are tanking the 2025 NFL season to draft Arch Manning and to hire Nick Saban as the head coach. So, guys, when you hear Cam Newton say that, the 2024 NFL season is not even over. And Cam Newton saying that the Dallas Cowboys are tanking for 2025 already. So, guys, do you guys think the Dallas Cowboys are tanking for the 2025 NFL season to hire Nick Saban and draft Arch Manning? There's a lot to take in and to digest what was just said. There's a lot to take in and to digest to understand what was being talked about there. So, guys, the Dallas Cowboys went 7-10 last season with a backup quarterback. The coach, Mike McCarthy, did not have a pulse on that team at all. Matter of fact, he didn't know if he was coming or going. When Dak Prescott went down a couple games later, everybody saying, well, they might as well fire him now. Tank for Shadir, right? Tank for Shadir, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Mike McCarthy kind of turned the team around. They started playing well. And then all of a sudden, we're talking about a contract extension. Like, what? Up and down. You know what's going on. And before this 7-10 season, they had 3 12-win seasons in a row. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Yes, they were one and done to end the playoffs, but still, 12 wins is pretty impressive in an NFL season. Now, they did have a 6-10 season in 2020, which was the worst record for them since 2010 when they hired Jason Garrett mid-season, lost Tony Romo for the season. It was just a miserable year. But when you look at the 2026 NFL draft, not the 2025 NFL, but the 2026, a year and 3 months away, Arch Manning gets projected to be the number 1 overall pick. A lot of things can happen from now and until then, right? So what does that mean to get the number 1 overall pick? That means the Cowboys have to be either really, really bad or they have to move up in the draft. The Cowboys have never been that bad in the last 30 years. Yes, they have not been great. Yes, they haven't been competing for championships or Super Bowls or whatever, but they haven't been a first round pick or first overall pick bad. 6-10 is their worst record since 2010, and they've done that twice. So, guys, do you guys think that the Dallas Cowboys will tank the 2025 NFL season? I'm saying absolutely not. Jerry Jones's ego cannot take that. The Dallas Cowboys fan base cannot take that. The players on the Dallas Cowboys cannot take that. They have a top 5 quarterback. They have a top 5 edge rusher. They have a top 5 wide receiver. You have 3 guys on that team that can single-handedly catapult you to at least 6 wins. Guys, there is no way the Dallas Cowboys are going to tank in 2025, especially saying it now in February or January. Like, stop it. Stop it. They are a good team. They are a couple free agents away to being a Super Bowl bound team. Let's just be honest. John says tank. Yes, but Nick Saban will not coach in Dallas. Nick Saban proved that he's not a very good NFL coach. Nick Saban left in the middle of the night to go to LSU. Like, I'm scared. Let me get out of here. Stop it. Seth says, I definitely don't think they will hire Saban. I could see them taking for Manning or another quarterback. Why would you want to tank for Manning or Shador or whoever, right? Guys, Dak Prescott's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Stop it. Dak is a real deal. The only reason why Dak Prescott gets all this hate is because he is on the Dallas Cowboys. If he was on the Denver Broncos, he would be the greatest thing since sliced bread. If he was on the LA Rams, he'll be on the greatest thing since sliced bread. Stop the hate for Dak. Real McCoy says the Cowboys won't win a big game with Dak. It's just facts. His stats are padded. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, Dak does sometimes get some garbage touchdown passes and some garbage yardage, whatever, right? But Dak is still a really, really good quarterback. There are probably at least 26 other teams in the NFL that would love the services of Dak Prescott. The only teams that wouldn't right now, let's just be honest, are probably the Washington Commanders, the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, probably the Denver Broncos, and the LA Chargers. Everybody else would love to have Dak Prescott. Let's just be honest. Ant says they aren't going to be shit for the next 5 or 7 years as long as the Eagles roster stays intact and Daniels keeps progress rolling. There'll be another 20-plus years with no Super Bowl. And Ant, I think you are correct. If the Cowboys do not go out there and explore free agency this offseason, it could be a long 5 or 7 years. You are 100% correct. But they will not be taking in 2025. How can you say that now? Legitimately. How can you say that now? That's just silly. John says, take your hat off when you say Nick Saban's next time. John, let me be perfectly clear for you. Nick Saban is no longer a college coach because he had to cheat to win. Once NIL became a thing in college football and Nick Saban and Alabama could not pay their players anymore, he began to suck and he ran for the hills. John, Alabama and Nick Saban were only good because they were able to keep paying the players under the table because Alabama football is God in Alabama. Nick Saban paid for his players, let's just be honest. Everybody knew that, and everybody understood that. You kept your mouth shut, and Nick Saban does what Nick Saban does. Once it became real and the NIL deals became active, he ran for the hills because he couldn't compete. He doesn't like the direction of college football anymore. Air quotes there. AKA, he couldn't pay his players like he used to. Kid Curry, I kind of like that name. Kid Curry says, Dak is the black Kirk Cousins. Not wrong. Not wrong. I can see that. Real McCoy says the Cowboys are always down in the fourth, and teams play soft on him. When you have 12 win seasons 3 years in a row, you're not down in the fourth quarter very often. I'm just going to put that out there. John says, you are full of crap, Buck. NIL ruined the game. Okay. All right. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, John. Whatever you say. You're wrong, but hey. But guys, it is Tuesday. Getting into hour number 2. And here on hour number 2, we welcome the Toxic Roundtable into the show. My man Mark D and Hoffy, which is out sick today. We got to welcome the 5'5", 165 pounds, beautiful chin strap beard, beautiful hair, biggest Denver Broncos fan I see, wearing a Philadelphia Eagles shirt. Got my man Mark D in the chat today. What's up, Mark? Hey.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? I am Mark D. I am your friendly NFL expert. The second half of the Toxic Table. Actually, the best half. I'm here ready to drop my football knowledge, everybody, to Man Hour Nation. Let's do this.
Well, Mark, first things first is you might be the NFL expert. Let's use that term loosely because NFL expert, what is an NFL expert, right? And no NFL expert is going to have Denver Broncos in your background, Denver Broncos on your head, Denver Broncos on your arm, wearing an Eagle shirt? What is this crap? Oh, my God. But, guys, welcome Mark D in the show, guys. This is Toxic Tuesday. We go around the NFL landscape, and we see what exactly is toxic and what exactly is not. So, with that being said, guys, here on hour number 2, we are live, raw, and uncut every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time down here on the East Coast. Mark, there have been some really, how do I say this word nicely? Shit franchises in the NFL. The Chicago Bears, Las Vegas Raiders, New York Football Jets, Jacksonville Jaguars, and now the Cleveland Browns. Yes, we can add them into the shit list. But when you look at these teams and you hear these teams, Mark, which team can turn around the franchise the first? Which team can win in 2025?
People are going to probably be surprised when I say this because I never say anything good about this team. Buck, you know this. I'm going to say the Raiders. And I'm going to say because a huge part of because Tom Brady's there now. He's their minority owner. He's controlling all the football decisions. I think him bringing in Pete Carroll was a good move. Pete Carroll's like a culture changer. He went to USC and did it. He went to Seattle, did it. He was successful at both places. I think that was really good. The second, I think getting Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator was huge. I think he's going to get the most out of Brock Bowers. And I think if they have the possibility of drafting Shador, that could be the start of something.
Mark, as a Broncos fan, I really feel like you are glazing the Raiders a little bit. You realize that Pete Carroll is 72 years old. I believe he'll be 73 once the NFL season starts. He brought in Chip Kelly, which was the head coach of the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles, a losing record as the head coach. 3 years in Philly, I believe he was 28-26, and then when he was in San Francisco, he was 2-14. He then ran off to UCLA to coach college football since 2018 to 2023. Wasn't terrible, right? But still kind of got, yeah, whatever, right? But then he went to Ohio State. As you know, Mark, I coached 4 or 5 kids that played on Ohio State last season. 3 of them, which were on the offensive side of the ball. They hated Chip Kelly. There's a reason why Chip Kelly wanted out of Ohio State because nobody could find that common ground with him, right? The one thing that I think makes a coach great is your ability to connect with players and actually talk about them, about life and in general and whatever, right? Chip Kelly thinks he's greatest thing since sliced bread. But when you look at the NFL landscape, Mark, and you look at this team like the Jets, they were 5-12 last season. They have yet another new coach. You have the Browns. They were 3-14 last season. Yes, I understand they went to the playoffs a couple years ago and last season or whatever, but players want out. Most notably now, Myles Garrett. He wants out. Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-13 last year, got a new coach. Trevor Lawrence, highly overpaid, overrated. Your man, Wayne G, said, if you built a prototypical quarterback in a lab, Trevor Lawrence is the man, the myth, the legend. Trevor Lawrence is going to be great. Eat your words now, Wayne G. The Las Vegas Raiders, 4-13 last season. Oh, but Buck, we have a top 10 defense in the last month of the season. You guys suck. Stop. 4-13. New head coach, new general manager. You got your same crap-ass defensive coordinator, which was 15th overall the last 2 seasons. Stop it. And you still have no quarterback. And then you have the Chicago Bears. They're 5-12. They have the new head coach yet again, Mark. They have a new offensive coordinator yet again. They have a new defensive coordinator yet again. But honestly, a team that could probably turn it around next season, it's not going to be the Jets, not going to be the Bears, not going to be the Raiders, not going to be any other team that I mentioned. But the team that I am most kind of think that has the most upward projection of these bad teams might be the Jacksonville Jaguars. As much as I hate Trevor Lawrence, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get benched. Insert Mac Jones, baby. Best pickup trade ever, right? And then not Travis Etienne. Both of those guys need to be cut. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne need to be gone. Once those guys are gone, and I believe, what is the Jacksonville running back's name that had all those yards last season? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? No, it wasn't Etienne, because Etienne was hurt most of the season, and his backup came in.
Bigsby?
Yeah, Tank Bigsby, right? As long as Tank Bigsby and Mac Jones is able to start next year for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they will be the real deal. So you are saying the Raiders have the best chance to turn it around. I'm saying the Jacksonville Jaguars have the best shots to turn it around. But do you really think the Raiders or the Jaguars can make the playoffs, Mark?
I think it might be a longer plan than we think. It might not just be next year for playoffs for these teams. Maybe the Bears, I think. I think they have the most talent out of all these teams.
Yeah, the Bears have the most talent and they're most overpaid. DJ Moore is the 5th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And what has he done for the Chicago Bears? Jack and shit, right? Let's just be honest. But when you look at the NFC, Mark, the NFC is kind of pretty loaded, right? Because next season, barring any crazy-ass injuries, you could pretty much put the Eagles in there. You can put the Lions in there. You can put the Commanders in there. Probably the Minnesota Vikings. And then after that, you got your Bucks, the Rams, depending on what they do with Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. And I still think the San Francisco 49ers will be back, right? They'll be back in their swing of things. So when you see those 7 teams, you hear those 7 teams, the Bears would have to knock one of those teams out. Who do you think it would be?
I'm not sure about the Niners. Like, they're going to pay Brock Purdy all that money. I mean, if they do that, they're screwed. They're going to not be good for their long run. Their window might be closed.
Their window might be closed because Aaron Rodgers is coming into town. Aaron Rodgers is going to make a trip to San Francisco or Minnesota. But I think the Jacksonville Jaguars have the best shot to turn it around because the AFC South sucks. Let's just be flat honest. The AFC South sucks. The Houston Texans, way overrated, way overhyped. I told you guys that last year. Way overrated, way overhyped. Now, they did win the division like I didn't think they were. I thought the Colts were. Actually, I thought the Titans were going to win the division. Badly wrong on that one. But the Titans suck, the Colts suck, and the Texans are highly overrated. If the Jacksonville Jaguars can just play a 500 schedule, they're going to win.
But then that means you're banking on Liam Cohen turning around Trevor Lawrence and him finally being the quarterback that we all supposed to see.
No, I am banking on Liam Cohen cutting Trevor Lawrence to go to the Dallas Cowboys. And Mac Jones will be starting, and he will lead the team to the playoffs. So, guys, in the comments below, we know we have some bad franchises out there. We have the Jets, we have the Bears, we have the Raiders, the Browns, the Jaguars, and the Raiders, just to name a few. Who do you guys think out of those 5 can actually make it into the playoffs next season? And Seth says, let me be perfectly clear. Mark, Seth is a Broncos fan. He is your boy. He says, screw the Raiders. He says, I got to know how much more clear I can make it. Screw the Raiders. Now wrong there, Seth. John says TB12 is going to turn it around in Vegas.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Guys, Tom Brady is a minority owner. He's like 5%, right? He's very, very
Well, Mark Davis
small
is
owner.
inept, and he's letting him control all the football stuff.
Yeah, but still, he can suggest something. Like my wife can come to me and said, I think you should clean in the house. Like, look, girl, you know your role. You go clean that shit. And then, of course, 5 minutes later, I'm cleaning the house. But that is not how it works, right? But yeah, I don't know how much Tom Brady can actually say, because I don't know what the whole conflict of interest thing is, because I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not concerned, but I'm intrigued by it. How can he be a broadcaster, go to these ownerships or go to these coaches and talk to them to get insights of the broadcast and still be an owner? Do you know like how he can do that and how that's not a conflict of
He has
interest?
specific rules of what he can and can't do, and there's a lot of restrictions that he has.
Maybe that's why he's so bad at commentating.
I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious what he's gonna do. He's like an owner of the Raiders. He's a broadcaster. It's like, dude, pick a lane.
Yeah. Know your role, jabroni, right? Know your drone. And Laura says, Mark, did you bump your head? Raiders? Really? The Raiders? Let's be honest, Laura. He had to choose between the Chicago Bears, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Browns.
Yeah, it was rough pickings.
It was kind of a who is the lesser of the 5 evils there, right?
Trust me, I don't want to give them any credit.
And John says the refs stopped us, meaning the Raiders, from beating the Queefs. Here we go again. And John says, so Trevor Lawrence is backing up Dak. No, John. It's going to be a 3-team trade. Dak Prescott's going to the Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby is going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is going to the Dallas Cowboys. My man Charles says,
NBA now, huh, Buck?
What's that?
It's the NBA now in the NFL.
Yeah, why not? Charles says, Myles Garrett to the Eagles. I've been saying it all year long. And Charles, you are smoking up the wrong tree, man. The Eagles are not going to get Myles Garrett. It's not going to happen. And John says he still has more rings than Kermit. Meaning Tom Brady. Okay. Four now. 7 years versus 30. Whatever. All right. Next up, Mark, on this beautiful Toxic Tuesday, we're going to talk about your favorite subject, the NFL refs. Travis Kelce was asked in the media opening day, Travis Kelce was asked if he could ask the media one question, what would it be? And Travis Kelce said, why are the media leading into this ref thing? Why is the media and the fans really leaning into this ref thing? So, Mark, when you see Travis Kelce ask this question to the media, why are they leaning into it? You are a part of the media now. Why is the media really leaning into this rigged NFL reffing situation?
Okay, there's 2 reasons, Buck. And these are kind of long reasons, so bear with me. Okay, reason number 1. I think it's been pretty blatant for everyone to see. Even novices who don't really know football are starting to notice. Just for example, a coworker the other day, a guy, this hippie guy I work with, doesn't even watch football. He was asking me about this stuff. So it just kind of shows you that people who don't watch football are noticing this stuff, and that's why it's blatant. But ultimately, dude, I don't think that it's rigged. You know, I don't believe that. I think they get some favorable calls sometimes. I think it's just because quarterbacks are protected and Mahomes is the golden boy. And I just think if they don't want these questions, they're gonna have to like step up the technology and make sure the spot's right and make sure you can get the calls more accurate. Have like a guy in the sky, somebody that's watching the TV screens and they can change the calls and help the refs, like things like this, and that would help.
So let me digest what you said. You said people that are not really watching the game are asking about the ref situation. So that tells me three things, Mark. One thing, they are reading into the propaganda that the media is out there spilling, and other novices out there are spreading this hatred toward the Kansas City Chiefs. If they're just passive watching of the game, they clearly don't watch the games, right? They just see what people are like saying. So that is number one. Number two, if the NFL was rigged, like I said earlier, why are the highest paid teams in the NFL not winning? I.e., Dallas Cowboys, i.e., Las Vegas, or the LA Rams.
And I have another one for you, Buck.
Go ahead.
Do you think all 32 owners or 31 owners are like, yeah, let's let the Chiefs win it every year?
Absolutely not.
They're not thinking that, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I think was it 2022 or 2021 when the NFL put out those commercials of like the whole script, like these script reading thing? Do you remember that? And
It was a couple years ago.
yeah, I believe it was after the Chiefs when they beat the Eagles, actually, if I'm not mistaken, because the whole Mama Kelce reading the script and like whatnot. But I digress. I think when the NFL started to buy into what people were saying about the NFL being rigged and script and all this other stuff, that was just opening up a can of worms. That was like basically saying like, we are going to suspend Barry Bonds for using steroids, even though we know he was using steroids, but it's his problem now, not our problem. And I think by them releasing those commercials, saying, "Yeah, it is rigged. What are you going to do about it?" And I think that was ultimately was the beginning of the end. And honestly, the media does have a lot of former players that are in the media now, and a lot of them are kind of the ones that are being the biggest voices about it. And I feel like that is kind of smacking your brotherhood in the face, right? Like, so like say you and me are on the same team and we've been battling for years and years and years and years, and then all of a sudden I retire and you are still like playing, like, oh yeah, we lost just because it's like it is rigged. How would you feel? Like, how do you think the other players are feeling when they hear stuff like that?
I couldn't imagine, dude, because they give their blood, sweat, and tears for this sport. So I don't know, man.
I mean, me playing at the highest level that I played, which was the CFL. I also played the indoor game. Obviously, that is no NFL. That's no millions upon millions of like dollars, but I can guarantee you those games were not rigged. And if it was rigged, those are the leagues that would be rigged, right? Because point shaving and bets and all that stuff would be just absolutely crazy. But it is what it is. Moving on here.
Can I say one more thing,
Yep,
Buck?
you got it. Go ahead, bud.
I think they need to get this more accurate. If people are going to be gambling, dude, I'm not even a gambler, and I think that they should get this right for these guys. So the NFL should invest money in better technology and maybe stop all this talk.
Yeah, I mean, money does talk at the end of the day. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe what happened. Maybe what needs to happen is the Buffalo Bills need to complain a little bit more, and they'll finally get their way. But moving on to this next one here. Obviously, guys, there are a lot of players out there that have never won a Super Bowl. Fans sometimes say that this player deserves a Super Bowl, this player deserves a Super Bowl, etc., etc., etc. There are some big name players on these two teams, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, Mark, that have never won a Super Bowl. Some of which being Jalen Hurts, Saqoun Barkley, Kareem Hunt, and DeAndre Hopkins, just to name a few. When you hear these names and you see these two teams, what player do you think deserves to win a Super Bowl this year?
When you asked me this question, the first thing that came to my mind was Jalen Hurts. Dude, he was replaced in the national title game by Tua. Tua brings him back wins the championship. That next year, he transfers to Oklahoma. He becomes a Heisman finalist. He doesn't win. He wasn't highly regarded coming out of college. He was drafted in the second round. Most scouts Thought his arm strength was good, but not great, and his arm motion was stiff and delayed. And lastly, the last 18 quarterbacks who have lost their Super Bowl debut as a starter have not returned. He will be the first. I think he's overcome a lot of adversity, and that's why I think he deserves a win.
And I see that and I respect that 100%, Mark. But when I think of teams or players that are deserving of a Super Bowl, I think of two players, right? And they're both on the Kansas City Chiefs sideline, right? One of them being DHop, right? He played on a Houston Texans team that just was never really, really very good. And then he kind of shuffled around the league a little bit. But the most notable person that comes to my mind is Kareem Hunt, right? Kareem Hunt was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs the same year that Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Kareem Hunt went off his rookie season. And the second year, he got a little in trouble with some white girls, right? FTWB, fuck them white bitches, right? But when a girl spits in your face, and he did the path that he did, he went away, he righted his wrongs, and he's finally back at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think I would love to see Kareem Hunt kind of do this full redemption tour and definitely get that ring. So I see your Jalen Hurts, and I actually love that. And I actually had a topic about Jalen Hurts earlier. Mark, did you know since his freshman year of college, he has had a different offensive coordinator every year? So 5 years in the NFL, 5 years in college, he had a different offensive coordinator every year, dating back to, 2016? So 2016, he had Lane Kiffin. 2017, he had Brian Daboll. 2018, he had Mark Loxley. 2019 had Lincoln Riley. 2020, Doug Peterson. 2021, Nick Sirianni. 2022, Shane Steichen. 23, Brian Johnson. And then this year, Kellen Moore.
Damn.
Yeah. So JM says Hurts had Steichen for 2 years in a row. So JM, Nick Sirianni called the plays the first 12 games of that season. Shane Steichen did take over the second part of that year, but he's had a different play caller every year. So just crazy. Alpha Rob says none of them deserve a Super Bowl. Interesting. None of them deserve it. Okay. Why don't none of them deserve it, right? Like they've all paid their dues. They've all been playing football probably since at the age of 10 at least, right? Maybe some earlier, 7, 6, right? I mean, they've all grinded and get to this point. I mean, at some point they all deserve it, but James says Saqoun Barkley deserves it the most. So have you heard this Saqoun Barkley story? He has never won a championship in Pop Warner, middle school, high school, or college, Mark.
Dang, that's another fact I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw that, I want to say last Sunday, because they were making a big deal about the Super Bowl was on his birthday. And he's never won a championship. So
crazy.
James says 21 was was Shane Steichen, but Nick Sirianni did call plays in that year. So every year it has changed. And Alpha Rob says, yeah, I'm just being petty now, Buck. Josh Allen deserves it. Josh Allen. All right. Speaking of toxic teams, Mark, we've talked about the Cleveland Browns like a little bit. And if you guys have been living under a rock, you know about the Cleveland Browns news, right? The Cleveland Browns have, they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard to keep happy, Mark. They're hard to keep happy. Myles Garrett has requested a trade yesterday, and he wants to play for a contender. Guys, the Cleveland Browns have been nothing but a dumpster fire the last couple seasons. I understand they made the playoffs last season, and I understand they competed the year before that with Baker Mayfield, yada, yada, yada. But let's just be honest, they're a big burning pile of poo-poo. Mark, how can the Cleveland Browns get right?
My suggestion, they need to just tear it all down. Trade Myles Garrett, get the most draft capital you can. And then I read that they can somehow void Deshaun Watson's contract because he re-ruptured his Achilles doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to. So I say try to figure that out, void that out, get rid of him. Just tear it down to the studs and start over.
So, Mark, you are absolutely right. So, by him, meaning Deshaun Watson not wearing his boot, doing that whole TikTok dance, they can void his contract because he wasn't following proper protocols. But when I think about the Cleveland Browns, I think about being a narrow-minded person, right? Seeing directly what is in front you and just keep plowing away. So right now, the Cleveland Browns are keeping their head forward and they're plowing away, Mark. They're plowing away. They are walking through 8 feet of like snow. But if they would happen to look over to the left a little bit, maybe look over to the right like a little bit, they're going to see that, hey, there's already a path plowed for me. I don't need to walk through this 8 feet of snow. I can walk over here, and there's 6 inches of snow. All of a sudden, my path gets a little bit easier. But what does that do? That takes you off of your course for a year, maybe 2. What does that mean? That means let Myles Garrett go somewhere else. There are teams out there that are going to give you 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. Yes. Wrap your head around that. There will be teams out there giving you 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. He's 29 years old, Mark. The average life expectancy for a defensive player is 31, 32 years old tops. So he only has a couple, maybe 3, 4, 5 years left tops in him, right? When Khalil Mack was traded at his prime at the age of 27, from the Raiders to the Chicago Bears, they got 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, and a 5th and a 6th-round draft pick for Khalil Mack. Who is better, Myles Garrett or Khalil Mack, Mark?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. 2 years older. Take those damn 2 first-round draft picks. Maybe get a 3rd or a 4th, whatever, right? Get him out of town and just tear it down. Let the burning pile of poo burn itself out. Stop trying to extinguish it. Let it burn, baby, burn. Let Myles Garrett eat, baby, eat. And maybe in a couple years, you can go out there and draft Arch Manning. Maybe in a couple years, there's going to be another prolific edge rusher come through the draft. But you won't know that until you take a couple steps back. That's what the Browns need to do, Mark. That is the only way they're able to fix this thing. They got to take a couple steps back, look around, evaluate, like, oh, somebody already plowed the snow path for me. Why am I doing all this extra work when I just here we go, bada bing, bada boom, I am here. Do you agree? So I think we're on the same page. Let Myles Garrett go. Hell, I don't care if it's for 1 first-round draft pick and 3 other draft picks. Get something, because next year he's just going to walk away. Deuces. Like, come on,
dude. You can get a haul for him. You could at least get 2 first-rounders for sure.
I saw a mock trade, right, for Myles Garrett to the Miami Dolphins. It was Tua, Tyreek Hill for Myles Garrett. Why would you not make that trade?
That's an interesting one.
Why would you not make that trade? I don't know. So, guys, what do you guys think?
It's both their needs.
Yeah. How can the Chicago Bears rebuild? And Laura says a complete rebuild from the ground up. Laura says, you know what? Leave Cleveland again. Move somewhere. Leave town.
Buck, interesting fact for you.
Yep.
Did you know that they call their stadium the Factory of Sadness?
Really? How about this? Did you know this? That the city of Cleveland is suing the Browns because they want to move their stadium to the suburbs and build a dome stadium so a Super Bowl can come into town, but the city of Cleveland don't want them to move from downtown. If I was that owner base in Cleveland, I would get up and move. I would move to Toronto, Mexico City, South Dakota, Iowa, Boise, Idaho. I don't care. Anywhere but Ohio at this particular point. Get up and move. Trade Myles Garrett and start fresh and become purple and baby blue. And call yourselves the Cougars. Alpha Rob says the Browns deserve all of this losing by doing Baker dirty. Facts, Alpha Rob.
I agree with that one.
Facts. Good Lord. Like, how can you let Baker Mayfield lead you to the playoffs, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers for the first time in since 85 in the first round of the playoffs, and like, oh, see ya. Like, what?
Yeah, we want this guy that have 28 massage therapists that cause sexual assault.
Right.
Yeah, let's have that guy come in.
Sheesh, it's stupid. Real McCoy says the Browns should have never moved on past Baker. Browns should have been banned from the NFL for life. So let me ask you this, because obviously the Baltimore Ravens were the Cleveland Browns prior. They were not very good then, but then they moved to Baltimore, and all of a sudden they're pretty damn good. Is it the city of Cleveland? Is it the name Browns, or is it like what is it, Mark? Like, why do the Cleveland Browns suck so bad?
I always say dysfunctional owners do functional things. And so as long as they have their dysfunctional owner, and I forget the guy's name, Haslam, they're going to be terrible.
I have a lot of friends that are Browns fans, and I feel bad for them. I'm not gonna lie. Alpha Rob says, you think the Browns dump enough trade for Garrett for Von Miller? See, I'm
an old Bronco fan, and that guy is washed up, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when he signed that 4-year, $100 million deal. Anyone's like, what? That's
and he was
dumb.
stealing that from them,
right? And then he's still beating up pregnant girls as well. But that's besides the point. I'm not for sure if the Browns would even entertain that idea. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm not interested in players. I'm interested in draft picks alone, because right now I'm in cap hell. I owe Deshaun Watson it's like $160 million against the dead cap in the next 2 seasons. It's something ridiculous, right? I mean, granted, they might be able to get out of it, whatever, but I need draft picks. I need draft picks to be able to build this team now, so the next three years, when I get away from this Deshaun contract, I can pay them and then start the whole rebuild process. So I'm not interested in bringing a 4-year, $100 million washed up defensive end that can't even rush the quarterback versus the Ravens. But I'm just saying. Derek says the Colts were pretty good when they were in Baltimore. They were not too shabby. Mark, you ready for a little bit of factor crap?
Factor crap. Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. So factor crap is very, very simple. I scour the old interwebs. I see what the people are talking about, see what gets the mopo going, and we determine if it indeed is a fact or if it's a crap. So the first factor crap today, guys, is we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the Eagles, meaning all business, and the Kansas City Chiefs are kind of more like, yeah, relax, we've been here, we've done that. So, guys, last night in the media night, opening night, as they like to call it, the Philadelphia Eagles came out meaning all business. They were shirts on tight, the ties tight. I hope I don't get in a fight. And like the Chiefs came out with the marching band, kind of relaxed, kind of just chill, whatever. So, guys, factor crap. Coming into the Super Bowl, all business will give you an edge in the Super Bowl. So, Mark, I have been in these situations where you have a week or two of this media preparing for a championship game. Let me guys tell you this. Pre-game fatigue is a real deal. Pre-game hype is very, very, very real. Stressing about the game is very, very real. And the way I saw the Eagles come out, they all mean business. They're all worried about football, and they're always and their buttholes are already puckered. Guys, it would not shock me one bit if the Philadelphia Eagles came into this game tired. If they come out sluggish in the first quarter. If they get too hyped on Monday and they realize, shit, we got to maintain this hypeness and this stability all the way to Sunday afternoon. Guys, it is a fact. Sorry, it is a crap. Coming into the Super Bowl, meaning all business, does not give you an edge. Matter of fact, I would say it actually puts you behind the eight ball, because you're going to be fatigued. You're going to be tired. You're going to be stressing about the game. You're going to be overanalyzing, getting overhyped in this situation. So, Mark, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles coming in, meaning all business, all down to the wire in the Kansas City and all loosey-goosey, yeah, we've been here, we've done that. Factor crap. do the Philadelphia Eagles have the edge in this game by meeting all business?
I think this is crap. I believe you. I believe in you. I believe with you, man. I don't think that some persona that you're gonna have is gonna help you in the game. It's all what you do in the game that is how it matters. Is all that matters.
You are absolutely correct. And the first comment that I saw was from the real McCoy. It says, this has become second nature for the Chiefs. No pressure. Real McCoy, you are exactly right. Because me being a player that has gone to the championship, but have never won the championship, I see the other teams that we've been playing, and they've all been relaxed, loosey goosey, kind of like, yeah, it's just another game. And my coach always had his butthole puckered. Oh, you guys got to be on point, curfew, all this other shit, right? Yada yada. And that puts so much added pressure onto us about being perfect, about doing everything right, that we forgot shit. We still got to play a game. But I'm tired from studying film and practicing. Hell, we had a full contact practice the Friday night before the championship game on Saturday. Like, what? Like, what are you doing? But whatever. So, yes, Real McCoy, you are right. This has become second nature for the Chiefs, and they have no pressure. And to be honest, the only pressure that the Kansas City Chiefs have, Mark, I think, is putting pressure on themselves by the whole three-peat thing. And I think they put that on themselves last year to stay focused all season long.
I'm not sure if anybody saw the NFL Films coverage, but after they won the Super Bowl last year, Mahomes was already saying that he wanted to go for 3.
Yeah.
So, this has already been in the works.
Yeah.
So I agree with you when they said that's going to be their only pressure is on them is the 3P because they've been there, done that.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's kind of like Michael Jordan, right? He would say that this person said something bad about his mom, and he had that added fuel, but he never really said anything. So that's kind of what the Chiefs are doing, I think. Lord says, crap. Eagles just plain suck. Laura, you are not wrong.
I did read
Go ahead.
That all this like interviews and stuff that causes fatigue before the game. I don't know if you know about like if you did all that when you played, Buck, but I can see that.
Yeah. So one of the biggest, the pregame fatigue is when you are overhyped, right? So when you come out of the locker room onto the field for a big game, you exert so much energy jumping around, warming up, hyping up the crowd, doing whatever you do. You exert a whole half of energy just in the pregame, and then you realize, shit, I got to play a full 60-minute game still. What do I do with my hands? So that is what I talk about pregame hype. Like you don't want to overexert yourself. Kind of like you need a almost kind of gotta like smoke some weed for the game and just like chill out, right? And I feel like right now
I'm an advocate of that.
So I feel like the Chiefs are kind of out there smoking weed, and the Eagles are out here
shirts like Andy Reid,
right? Well, and then the Eagles are out here doing a little bit of just like some like speed. They're like, oh, like we're so attention to digital.
Right.
And she's like, oh yeah, what's up, man? Cool. Like it just is what it is. Moving on. The next factor crap of the day, Cooper Kupp and the LA Rams. Cooper Kupp said on X that he is done in LA, and the Rams are looking to trade him in a farewell post last night on X. So, Mark, I'm going to ask you this question first. Factor crap. Is Cooper Kupp still a top 10 receiver in the NFL, and will he move a needle on the team next season?
Okay, you guys always give me shit about waffling. But I'm going to waffle on this one because this is kind of a two-parter question. Because you asked if he's top 10. Then you asked if he's going to make an impact on a team. Okay, for the first part of it, I'm going to say crap. I don't think he's a top 10 wide receiver anymore. It's like clear that he's not there anymore. The last couple years, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And also, the Rams are real smart and ruthless franchise. They've moved off of Gurley, Goff, Ramsey, so they're smart, so they know when to get off players before they're done with their prime or out of their prime, I guess. So, but I think it's gonna be really hard for them to trade Cooper Cup because of his contract. Like he's owed like 29 million, and that's gonna be hard to trade to any team. So they're gonna have to cut him and eat that money.
All right. So when I look at this Cooper Cuff situation, obviously it sucks. Just because Cooper Cuff has come out and said that he doesn't want to leave LA. He wants to be in LA. He thought himself as a lifer in LA. So when we ask the question, factor crap, is Cooper Cup a top 10 receiver in the league, and does he move the needle on a different team? Guys, I'm going to say this is 100% crap. I don't think Cooper Cuff does get traded. I don't think he wants to get traded, and I don't think he agrees to get traded, to be honest. Now, Mark, you did bring up he is owed $29 million this season. He is only guaranteed $5 million this season, which is due at March. So once that passes that March deadline, no team is really obligated to paying him besides his incentive based deals, right? Now, when you look at Cooper Cuff, he was the center of trade talks when he came off of IR earlier this season. But the Rams won a game here, they won a game there, and then all of a sudden they were competing for the NFC West, which was terrible, right? Nobody really expected the West to be terrible, but the Rams were competing, and they ultimately did make it to the playoffs and actually won a playoff game with Cooper Cuff as their second leading receiver on the NFL. But just like Mark said, he has not played a full season in 4 years. Since his Triple Crown winning in 2021, he has not played a full season. He has played 13 games here, 14 games there, 15 games, and 12 games just this last season. This season, he averaged 59.2 yards per game in just 6 touchdowns in 12 games. He did start the season off on the IR. So, guys, this is 100% crap. I think Cooper Cup is a product of the system. I think Cooper Cup does not move the needle on any team in the NFL, and he definitely is not a top 10 receiver at all. So if the Rams do get a trade offer for him, it's going to be a 4th or 5th round pick at best. And do you really want to move on from a guy like Cooper Cup that fixed your system for a 4th or 5th round pick? Probably not. So I think it is 100% crap. Mark, any follow up on that?
Nope, total crap.
Total crap. And that's what Laura is saying. Laura is saying crap. She says, I like Cooper Cuff. I like his beautiful blonde hair. I like his beard right in between my breasticles. But it is crap. And Derek says, it is crap, but he would be great in a black and silver uniform, baby. Let's go.
Does this mean Stafford's next?
If I remember correctly, Stafford tweeted that he plans to play in the 2025 NFL season, but he does not know if that's with the LA Rams. So honestly, Mark, I think the LA Rams are in a retooling type of situation. I think they are out there. I mean, honestly, they should have traded Cooper Cup at that trade deadline when his value was still high. They should have traded Matthew Stafford last year when his value was even higher. But I don't know what you can legitimately get out of these guys. And I mean, yes, I understand there's value picks in the 4th and 5th and the fifth round picks, but at the same time, you kind of gave up a lot for Matthew Stafford, right? Are you gonna let him walk away for a 4th round pick or a fifth round pick? Probably not. So I don't know. Moving on. The next factor crap of the day, Mark, is flag football. Mr. Flag Football. Roger Goodell said the NFL is exploring a professional flag football league for both women and men. They have spoken to some investors and some other sponsors to push the sport. So, Mark, factor crap. Would a professional flag football league fail?
Okay, so I have some questions. I was looking this up and I couldn't really find a lot. So what do you mean by this flag football league? Does that mean like actual pros playing the game?
From my understanding, it will be a professional flag football. So people will get paid millions of dollars to play flag football. Now, I would assume it's going to be some type of conflict of interest if a Tyreek Hill goes and plays in the NFL and then goes plays in his flag league, because it would probably be a spring league versus a fall league. They don't want to rival each other, and I'm sure there's some type of conflict stipulation. So you're looking at these Olympic teams that are going to be in this professional team and be like a Olympic feeder. Like, that's what I would assume.
So what's the ultimate goal for the NFL? Is, like you said, a feeder, so you get the players that will transfer from flag football to the pro sport?
I have no idea. Like, I mean, like the interview
There's so
was
many
very
questions.
Yeah, I mean, like, so like honestly, the interview was very, very vague. Like, he was basically asked, will you support a flag football league, like a professional league? And like, he's like, yes, the NFL is looking into it. We are exploring it for women and both men. And just honestly, anything besides the NFL is probably going to fail, right? Because we've looked at the XFL, the USFL, whatever, right? Those spring leagues are not very successful because they don't have the backing of the NFL. Now, if the flag football had the backing of the NFL, I could potentially see something. I don't see a men's flag football league being successful because we've seen it in the Pro Bowl. We don't like it at all. Women's flag is a different story. They come out there and they want to compete. They want to do their thing. Now, maybe if it was an actual league and they were paid and like, and they're paid to play and like all that stuff, we might see a little bit more competitiveness, right? But I'm in the era that I don't like flag. Like, I feel like kindergartners through about fifth graders should be playing flag and nobody beyond that point. Yeah, you can play flag in like a rec league and all this other stuff, but a professional flag league is stupid. It would 100% fail. This is 100% fact. It would fail so bad because us as NFL purists, we want to go back to the 90s and early 2000s anyway. Like,
with all the hits.
What was the best thing about ESPN on Monday Night, Mark, in like 2002? You got jacked up. Like, let's just be honest. We love the big hits. We love the crunches, and now, like, oh, you hit him too hard. I mean,
I always called them ooh hits.
Yeah.
So it's like when you saw them get tackled, you're like, ooh.
Right. I mean, and like, honestly, when you think of a NFL flag league, to me, that sounds like you want to replace the actual game of football with flag, and I'm not for sure that would fly.
Me either. I'm not down for that either.
Yeah, I'm not down with that either. And Alpha Rob says facts. It will 100% fail. Laura says flag, especially for women, would be awesome. I concur.
I think like women's soccer, how that's very popular.
Yeah.
I think it could be the same thing.
Yeah. Women's soccer is popular because Mia Hamm took off her shirt. Let's just be honest. I'm kidding. Alpha Rob says, just give me real football. Forget the flag and bring back the defense to the NFL. Bring back the hits, right? I understand all about safety, concussions, and CTE and all that other crap. Let's just can we go back to a pre-concussion thing when the NFL openly denied a concussion? We don't know what a concussions are. Concussions are like miss. Can we go back to that day, Mark?
I wish we could, man.
Real McCoy says flag football will be like the WNBA before Clark. Not wrong, Real McCoy. Not wrong. Man, I mean, hell, any game that doesn't have Caitlin Clark in it now is bad, right? Is it the Chicago Spark? I think it's Chicago Spark. I went to a Chicago Spark game with like Angel Reese and all that rookie class or whatever, and they're playing somebody from like LA, and there was probably 110 people in the whole stands. It was so bad. It was terrible. Terrible. Alpha Rob says women flag football and lingerie. Definitely. Alpha Rob, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to YouTube after this, and I want you to look up the LFL.
There is lingerie football.
Lingerie football league. These are some of the baddest bitches you will ever see, Mark. Or like just Alpha Rob. These girls are bad. Not only do they look pretty good, they wear shoulder pads that barely cover their titties. Their asses are hanging out. They have just like this hockey style plastic helmet, and they are laying bitches out. Now, I don't know if it's still around. I'm pretty sure it is not, but Like,
No.
it peaked in probably like 2008, 2009, and shit, that thing was awesome. That was awesome.
Dude, Buck, I used to know a girl who played.
Oh yeah,
She was like a sales rep for my liquor store. Dude, she was banging, man.
dang it. Yeah.
So I can only imagine her playing
Yeah.
football.
And Alpha Rob, I don't know if you know this about girls, but my wife was a college athlete, and they talk some mad shit. They talk some mad shit. Like, they are so angry. They're like they're just so mad all the time, and they want to take each other out. I mean, and like, I love it. I love the contact. I love them hitting. But there is there's this big black coach. I think it was a Chicago team. This dude would get up in this girl's face and just berate her up and down, and like, she's like, "Look, motherfucker, I'm gonna lay his ass out next time," right? And like, she goes, look it up. LFL highlights, Alpha Rob. Look it up. Mark, any closing thoughts before we head out, big guy?
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. You can suck up. Guys, that is it for today. Live, raw, uncut NFL talk. We're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com/man. Of course, facebook.com. And if you guys have missed any part of the show, you can find us on iTunes and Spotify, and of course, iHeartRadio. And I do upload the clips every 3 hours on the 3 hours on YouTube, and of course, Facebook as well. But if you are a pigskin punny, guys, we do got the after hour show starting here in about 10 minutes. So stay tuned for that if you want to hang out with us. Become a pigskin punny. You still got time. Until then, guys, we are out.